Chapter 4, The Doctor is in. France. The next morning, you and Callum make your way to L'Hôpital de Richelieu. One last time, are you absolutely sure this is the place, Vivian? The Architect's Code led us here, and the code doesn't lie. Elliot, or is it Agent Jones? Sorry, still figuring out the etiquette for the person in the chair role. Person in the chair? Yeah, like the cool techie who helps spies in the movies. I should add its very cushy chair, the mobile op centers. Amazing. I'm glad you're enjoying Gaia's resources so far, and Elliot is fine. Approaching the building, nothing seems out of order so far, but we thought the same last night. Callum touches the spot on his head where the masked man hit him and you patched him up. Don't worry, I've got eyes on the sky today. Everything looks good to Nellie, too. Nellie? Looking up, you spot a circular, polished robot hovering just above the hospital's parking lot. You named your drone. It's very pink. She's more than just a drone. She's the next evolution in surveillance tech. I poured my own blood, sweat, and gears into her. You have gears? As if to punctuate her necessity. Nellie zooms closer, beeping excitedly. Callum glances sidelong at you. A pleasure to meet you, Nellie. But the hospital staff may not be as welcoming as we are. Just to be clear, Nellie doesn't talk. I'm not sure if that's like a thing here at Gaia. Talking robots, probably, but you didn't think I'd be with Nellie without cloaking mechanism, did you? I'm sorry, we have cloaking devices now. I, wasn't sure had crossed your mind. I learned my lessons after trying to get the backstage footage of a certain amusement park. Rest in peace, Veronica. You were taken from us too soon. Just then, Nellie flickers overhead before turning completely invisible. Stealth mode activated. Nellie's moving into position now. I just need you to find the server room and patch me in with the USB I gave you. Once I'm hardwired in, I'll set up the firewalls. If the architect even thinks about hacking in, I'll know. Got it. You wouldn't happen to know where the server room's at, would you? No, you'll need blueprints to figure that out. The ones I got from the public records from the 80s and don't have a server room label. A room like that's bound to have tight security, too. I bet we'll need a key card as well. I have a question. Server rooms usually run hotter than any other building in the, room in the building. Why don't you just look for a heat signature and we'd know exactly where to go? I know, I'm intelligent, I know. Blueprints and a keycard. How hard can it be? Once inside, you and Callum head for the main hallway beyond the front desk. A nurse glances up as you approach. If you're patients, I'll need you to wait in line for the rest. Good thing we're not patients, Mr. You lean in to better take a look at his name tag. Mr. Lou Belleros? Only staff are permitted behind these doors, and I don't recognize either of you. Badges? So we've skipped from patients to workers, but not visitors. Interesting. But we are staff. I have a patient. No badge, no access. Those are the rules. Don't sweat it. Nellie found a locker room to your left. Maybe you can find a badge there. I probably left it in the locker again. I'll go take a look. Nurse Lou raises an eyebrow as you retreat from the front desk into the locker room. The room is gloriously empty. You breathe a sigh of relief. Good call, Nellie. The staff's bound to have left some extra scrubs in here. You rummage through the lockers, and Callum pilfers a set of scrubs in his eyes, topping them off with a white coat. Let me see here. I mean, I guess. Quite the convincing disguise. If I were Lou out there, I'd buy it. You look the part. My thoughts, precisely. Every locker you try is empty until you pull a stained janitorial outfit from the one in the corner. Not the most glamorous disguise, but it get the job done. Callum frowns and extracts a pair of clean scrubs from his locker, complete with a doctor's coat. Why don't you match me, and you blend in as a doctor? You'd raise less suspicion this way. No med school required. Doctor espionage. I guess. What's the alternative? Jumpsuit Jewel, because everyone needs a janitor. Listen, I hear there's a vomit on floor 3. Go clean it up. Just kidding. Like, I could pass up the chance to wear a fancy lab coat. Rolling his eyes, Callum hands you your disguise, and you change. How do I look? You turn right and left, giving Callum a full view of the scrubs in the coat. He watches you with raised eyebrows. Pretty good, I almost buy you're a real doctor. Who's to say I wasn't one before I became a phantom? You're right. You certainly have the overinflated ego handled. Admit it. You find it charming. And Callum returned to the lobby to sneak past Lou again. His eyes narrow as you pass. Nice try, but I can't let you pass without the proper ID. Callum lifts one attached to his coat, expertly placing his thumb over the picture. Looks like I left mine in my locker after all. You slip your hand into your coat pocket and pull out the ID badge inside. See, everything checks out. Lou studies you carefully, his eyes lingering on you, your lithe form. Your shoulders fill out the coat rather well, Doctor. Really? It's as if this coat belongs to me. Oh, 'cause it does, though I could remove it if you prefer. He flushes slightly, but still doesn't let you pass. Get moving. For all we know, the architect's already inside the hospital systems by now. You study Lou's posture, you can sense you just need a little more to convince him. Lou, we really need to get by. But after work, how about I buy you a drink? I suppose it has been a while since I've been on a date. Woo, we're jumping straight to date? I'll be sure to make it an extra special then. Smooth. You have him eating out of the palm of your hand. And don't encourage her. Lou's focus is completely on you. He smiles and nods towards the hallway. I'll think about it. Meet me back here at the end of my shift. I'll be counting down the minutes until I'm out of here and never have to see you again. You and Callum slip through the doors and further inside the L'Hôpital de Richelieu. Callum grabs an unused clipboard as you pass an empty room. You really will flirt with anyone, won't you? Jealous? I am not. He totally is. Nellie's heat sensors are picking up a flush. So she has heat sensors! She could literally find the sensor damn room. Or server. Let's just focus on getting the key card and blueprints, please. Try the surgeon's lounge for the key card, and the records room for the blueprints. Two objectives, two agents. Shall we part ways? I'll get the key card, blueprints. I'm gonna go with the key card, yes. Then I'll go after the blueprints. Keep your comms open and be careful. Careful is my middle name. You veer off from Callum and find your way into the surgeon's lounge. Inside, you notice a group of doctors deep in conversation. Wait, you're here too? I told my latest consult he was only. I had a broken ankle, but he was convinced he had cancer. What a fool! It's silly, but there was an episode in Dr. Power once where the broken bone led to a discovery of bone cancer. Please, that show is hardly scientific. Lighten up, Doctor. Powers and decisions are super powered. What surgeon can say they'd pass up a magic hand? The first doctor scoffs, turning to the coffee machine. The second sits on the table, pulling out a book. The last to start scrolling through her phone. Nellie found a keycard on all of them. You just have to pick the perfect mark. Well, clearly, arrogance, no. Nerdy. Friendly. It's like the greenness and everything is just like, go for it, versus no and really no. As you approach the friendly surgeon, you notice the sound of her laughter echoing off the walls. Now that's a good one. Hey, you've got a beautiful laugh. She glances up at you, her thumb poised over the screen. Why, thank you. If only my patients thought I was funny. You sidle up to the surgeon, putting on your best smile. Aren't you? Depends on who's listening. Care to introduce me? She looks your wide coat up and down, eyes lingering on your face, trying to place you. You from the internal medicine department? I've never seen you here before. God, man. Couldn't pass up the opportunity to flirt with the gorgeous surgeon. My, you certainly are a flatterer, huh? You shift closer to her, grazing a fingertip along her arm. Your other hand presses flat against the wall, just by her ear. You lean in to whisper. Only if that's what you were into. Lucky for you, I like a little break time rendezvous. She closes the distance between your lips as she sinks into your case. You slide your hand down the wall to the key card hanging on her pocket. You slip the key card up your sleeve, pressing it flat to your forearm. As the kiss slows, you pull away with a wink. Not that bad for someone from internal med, huh? Good. Even. Don't work too hard. That's no fun. With the keycard in hand, Vivian's voice echoes through your earpiece as you exit the lounge. Smooth. Thank you. Always. How'd you do, Callum? Better than you. I've been waiting outside the server room for 10 minutes. Aww. You were waiting for little old me. Don't fret, I'm on my way. You follow Callum's directions and meet him outside the server room. You nod towards the closed door. Server room. Here we come. You swipe the keycard and step inside. Servers, tower, lines, the wall as far as the eye can see, whirring quietly. I need you to find the main terminal. You should be able to use the USB to patch me in there. How are we supposed to know which one's the main terminal? Because it's usually the one with the keyboard that can pull in and out, and you can access most of the information on it. You wander through the room, searching. Your eyes land on a tower taller than the rest. There's one thing I've learned in my life. When in doubt, go for the big one. You retrieve the oddly shaped USB drive from your pocket. It's a duck. Of course it is. You plug in the USB drive. Red error messages flood the computer screen as soon as the duck connects. Vivian? The server's having a meltdown. Is that good? Great, actually. Mr. Quack alert system is installing. I'm bypassing the hospital's firewalls and infiltrating their system as we speak. TLDR, I'll be able to see and control everything, and I mean everything. Medication doses, oxygen levels, locked doors, even the thermostat. Are you sure you should have access to all that? Chill. This is all for surveillance in case the architect tries to get in. In a matter of moments, anything electronic in this hospital will be under control of one Miss Vivian Lopez. I have a thought. Is it possible that she is the architect? Just sussing right now, because again, in the prior chapter, they let her live. Vivian? Don't let it get to your head. Is this with the great power comes great responsibility speech? Because that never ends well. Just use your powers for good. Josie's right, we have a mission to complete, remember? Oh, you're no fun. Once Vivian's program finishes installing, the error messages disappear from the computer monitor, assuming control. I've always wanted to say that. Any sign of the architect? That's a negative. I think it's just a waiting game at this point. No use sticking around here. Let's check out the rest of the building. Just as you shut the door behind you, a guard around the corner heads straight for you. Hey, Dwayne, how are you? Oh no, I met the guard earlier. It wasn't a pleasant encounter. I'm guessing our disguises don't make as much sense in front of a server room? I'm not willing to take that chance. He whips you around, pressing you against the wall as the guard approaches, and his lips are on yours, his hands sliding up your waist. Oh. As the shock wears off, you give in to the kiss. Callum's lips are soft yet demanding against yours as he grips your hips. The guard sighs and shakes his head as he moves along. Even as he disappears, you can't help but pull Callum flush against your body. Listen, why not? You gently tuck his bottom lip between your teeth, causing him to gasp. Elliot. His tongue darts across your lip, you sigh, relishing the way his lips move around the vowels of your name. You each grow lost in the other's hold, his hands searing a path along your skin. Callum. His name is just a whisper on your lips, a promise, a yearning, a desire for more. But as quickly as he started, Callum moves away. He smooths his coat, refusing to meet your gaze. Thanks for going along with that. It seemed to have worked. That was a welcome surprise. Maybe we should do it again, in case the guard returns. Quit joking around. Who says I'm joking? I couldn't let a single guard jeopardize the mission. I don't know. That seemed a little extra convincing to me. Will you stop looking at me like... Just then, and a loud alarm blares through the hospital. What the... All around your door slam, lock in place. Doctors and nurses shout as they scramble through the halls. Code blue, we got a code blue! My tablet froze. Who shut the patient's ventilator off? Vivian, explain. I swear it's not me. The system booted me out. I'm sending Nellie to investigate. As you process Vivian's words, the hospital's alarm suddenly cuts off. For a moment, there's just an eerie silence, and then... Every computer monitor, television screen, and phone flickers to life with the same image. A figure in shadow, his figure, a voice distorted.
Greetings. As you must have guessed by now, I have infiltrated every system at L'Hôpital de Richelieu.
The architect. He's here. Well, there went my kind of assumption.
Patients who are dependent on those systems are already crashing, and soon will die. My terms are simple. Wire me 15 million euros in cryptocurrency, or say goodbyes to every patient in the hospital. You have 2 hours.
Damn it. How did he outmaneuver us?
Oh. And to the Gaia agents listening. Yes, I know you're here, and I know you've discovered my calling card. Your efforts are futile. You will regret it if you try to stop me.
The video cuts off as the machines power down. It takes a minute before the backup generator kicks in, casting the hospital in a dim light. Nellie hooked up the backup generator now, but she can't hold it long. That smug bastard. Vivian, tell me you have a solution. I really wish I could say I did, but I'm completely locked out.
There has to be something you can do.
I'm trying, but getting through his control is like chipping at the Great Wall of China with a rusty spoon. So, basically, too long. Maybe there's something we missed in the server room. I don't know how else he'd get this kind of access. Then back we go. You and Callum hurry back down the hall just as some familiar masked assassin runs out. We meet again, phantoms. I always love a reunion. Can I at least get a name this time? You can call me the contractor, but I'm afraid I don't have time for chit-chat today. The man launches a small, round object at you, and the smoke fills the hallway. The contractor disappears from view. I lost eyes on him. He's getting away again. It doesn't matter now. Every patient will die if we don't figure out what he did to the servers. Callum sprints to the server room, where you can follow. A nurse stumbles into the hallway, looking frazzled. Doctor, oh thank God. We need you right away. We have a patient bleeding out in the ICU. If we don't operate now, he's going to die. You look between the nurse and the server, and Callum's voice crackles through your combs. Go save the patient. I'll work with Vivian to investigate the server room. Nurse, I can help. Take me to him. Really? Because you got a PhD win. The nurse looks relieved. The two of you rush into the patient's room in the ICU. Where you find Nurse Lou, applying pressure to the patient's leg. He looks up in surprise as you approach the bed. I found a doctor, Lou. She was the only one available. I suppose beggars can't be choosers. Are you sure you can handle this, doctor? Lou, you can trust me. I'm the only choice you have. If I don't help, he's gonna bleed out. So step aside and let me work. Fine, but I got my eyes on you. I'm a doctor. Kiss my ass, nurse. Seriously. You take quick stock of the bullet wound and realize the wound is shallow enough. You flash back to all the times you've done this to yourself. Looks like a standard gunshot wound, but the bullet is lodged in an artery, blocking blood flow. Do you concur? Do I what? Listen, they don't do this. This is only in television. Do you concur, Nurse Lau? Yes, I concur. Then hand me the forceps. Forceps? Why? His eyes narrow, watching you carefully. It's fine. Take your time. Just a man bleeding out in front of us, that's all. He hesitates, but hands you the tool. Time to save a life! You get to work on the patient, easily removing the fragments of the bullet. He watches in awe. Wow, you really have steady hands. It comes in handy, but for the job. Like all the times you have to remove bullet wounds during cyber attacks. You should see what happens when I go after the guy behind the attack. He watches you carefully as you finish removing the bullet pieces. It doesn't take long for you to clean and stitch up the site. There we go. Can you handle things from here? My skills are needed elsewhere. Go, and thank you. You hurry to the server room. Callum types away at the main terminal, while Vivian gives instructions over the comms. Good, you're here. Look what I found. Strange hardware. Ah, lovely. Cut the red wire. I don't know, I'm just going with it. A gift from our contractor? It would appear it's some kind of device connected to the terminal. It must be how the architect booted me out. I won't be able to regain control unless we disable this thing. Listen to me very carefully. Disconnect the wires from the following order. Red, blue, green. Dare I ask what happens if I don't do it right? My bet's some kind of trap. Or we all go boom. Be kind of nice, wouldn't it? You lean over the hardware, your hand hovering over the wires as you recall the order. Red. Reach out and cut the red wire first. Okay, that's nothing smoking, so I guess that was right. Blue. You take a deep breath and cut the blue wire. And that makes 2 in a row. And the green wire. You cut the final green wire with ease. Callum removes the disconnected pieces of the hardware and slipped it into his pocket for later. And I think you were worried. You've given me reason in the past. I'm glad your memory is not lacking today. Oh, I have access to the network again. Give me a second and I should be able to do... Main power suddenly floods the hospital and you hear relieved cries from nurses, doctors, and patients down the hall. Well, that did it, Vivian. The power's back. And without paying a single euro to the architect. Sorry we lost the contractor again. I looked, but he's just vanished. Nellie didn't pick him up at all. I'm sure it's not the last time I've seen him. We'll be ready next time. Outside the server room, you and Callum watch the relieved hospital workers attend to their patients. He gives you a nod. Not bad, Jones. Maybe you aren't as useless a partner after all. Oh, that's nice. You're just realizing that? What about last night when I chased the contractor through Paris? You mean when you let him escape? How's your head? Seems to be an ongoing theme in the city. Can we get reassigned already? Perhaps a third time will be the charm. I should let Gaia know our target has moved on, though. Callum makes for the exit. The soft whir of Nelly following behind. You stretch, reaching up to turn your comm off. When someone pulls you into an empty room. What the... I know what's going on here. You... do? He stands toe-to-toe with you, eyes ablaze. You glance at the door, making sure no one can hear. I know you're not a doctor. Uh-huh. What gave that away? You might have saved that patient's life, but your methods weren't by the book. I can see you're very observant. That's something I always liked in a man. Stop bullshitting me, I want the truth. Just who the hell are you? I'm not a doctor, but the truth is dangerous. The people I'm involved with, my enemies, if you knew too much, could mean your life. Just know the hospital isn't safe now. Wait, so you're the reason why everything went back to normal? Why our patients are alive? I really can't say more than that, Lou, but yes. Slowly, his expression softens, the fire goes out of him, and he pulls you into an embrace. So, not only did you save the patient, but you saved the entire hospital. You're incredible. Are we in a soap opera now? It's not anything special. It's all in a day's work, you know. He steps back, trailing a seductive finger along your arm. A coy smile plays along his mouth. My, sounds like you could use a moment to relax and be appreciated. You might be right. Saving hospitals is very tiring work, after all. He cups the back of your neck and pulls you into a long, searing kiss. His lips are soft and pliant beneath yours. The invitation clear. There's a lot more where that came from, if you're interested. More kisses specifically, or did you have another form of appreciation in mind? You saved so many people today, I just want to show my thanks. Whatever way you want. Hook up with Nurse Slough. Or decline. Lord help us. Listen, we know which way this is gonna go. Nah. I'm putting my foot down with certain choices from now on. Just no means no. I'm sorry, but especially ones that endanger our channel. Duty calls. You nod sagely and leave Lou behind. As you hurry to catch Callum, you straighten your uniform and don't look back. I'll miss you, Lou. It was love at first. Twerk. Later that day, you and Callum return to Paris' safe house. Vivian jumps from her seat as the two of you enter. Today was so cool. I mean, not the part where patients started crashing and nearly dying, but the rest of it. Is that how you always feel? A little. Congratulations on completing your first official mission, Vivian. A lot of people are alive because of you. Callum hands Vivian the hardware you recovered from the server room. Vivian turns it over in her hands with wide, sparkling eyes. I hoped you could tell us more about this. Oh God, this is just what I needed. It's the missing piece. To what exactly? My bomb! Oh my God. I just had to, Limula. This is how the architect was getting past all my defenses, like they were nothing. Which, you know, they're not. He doesn't just use digital bugs, but physical ones too. I was able to tear down his digital override once you disabled the sucker. Interesting. So, that's what the contractor does for him. He plants the architect's hardware. I wonder if... why not? If this can help us identify him. Look, I'm good, but I'm not that good. This isn't enough to tell us who he is, but I can trace something else with it. She hooks up the bug to her computer and hits a few keystrokes. As she works, Nellie buzzes around her until Vivian bolts upright. We've got something. The manufacturer of this hardware has been located. Seriously? Who is it? This little bug has some key components that point to one person, and only that person. She pulls up a picture of a man on her screen. You and Callum skim the information. Ah, he looks like a Bond villain. This is Malcolm Reed, businessman, entrepreneur, and all-around sketchy guy. Plenty of offshore accounts centered in one location. Well done. Pack a swimsuit, everybody. Looks like we're taking a trip to Cayman Islands. I heard that's a nice place. Heard that's where all the ritzy people go, you know, when winter strikes. Without further ado, love your beautiful faces. Remember that if you did enjoy the video, please remember to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. It would be really great. I love you. And without further ado, I'll catch you all later. Hope you have a great rest of your day and week. Peace out.